everyone, how you going, and welcome back to There Was an Attempt, a place just for all general failures. You know, all of these people have just been trying their absolute heart out and then really just landed on their face. But anyway, let's try and straight into it, shall we? So then, starting right off with, there was an attempt to eat a cherry. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen a cat even contemplating eating a cherry before, but no, what the hell is it doing? It obviously just can't figure out how to kind of get into its mouth. I mean, I guess it makes sense that it was just being a pendulum, but no, the poor thing just cannot get it through its brain. Obviously, it just needed to pick it up by the other end. But wow, like I said, I have never even considered the fact that a cat might even want to eat a cherry. I mean, cherries are pretty good, so I can understand in that regard, but really, I didn't think that cats would kind of have the same palate and taste that we do. But no, I just love the look that it gives when it just stops there for a second and just goes, and just stares at the person filming, because it's just going, well, what the hell is this thing? You know, usually you were just feeding it to me and now I just can't even get it. I mean, to be honest, I kind of would have expected a cat to be a little bit better than this, maybe use its arms to kind of help it along, because I would have thought that, you know, all the little cat toys that they always have, they're always kind of dangling objects and things like that. And so considering the fact that cats are just a superior beings, I would have thought that they just would have known exactly what to do in this situation and not required peasantry of human help. But I guess on the other hand, there are a boatload of cherries there, and so maybe it's just going to be taking all day just to do this one thing. You know, it just kind of uses them as cat toys and just slowly picks its way through an entire punnet of cherries all day. It would be a pretty good way just to waste the day away, you know, just using every single cherry as a cat toy, and you've got 100 cherries to get through. It certainly makes sense in that regard. So maybe the cat knows exactly what it's doing, and it wasn't that there was an attempt. Perhaps it just wanted to do it this way because it knows some secret that we don't, or hey, maybe it just even wanted to play with its food before it eats it. Either way, you know, I'm sure this wouldn't be a there was an attempt, because cats do not fail in anything. But no, this entire video clip is very cute, and I think what I love about it the most is just that it looks at it wants to kind of swing the cherry around and kind of land it in its mouth, but it just cannot get it. You know, I can't actually remember the name of the toy where you actually kind of have to try and flick the ball around to scoop it up, but that kind of thing is exactly what this cat needs. You know, just put in a little bit of training before it just goes back to the cherries, and then I'm sure it'll just whip through an entire punnet of cherries in what, 2 minutes or so. So even though it would obviously classify as that there was an attempt, at the same time the cat just doesn't care at all. And you know, usually people in these subs are just kind of all shy away and everything. Hey, what can I say? I guess it comes back to the fact that it is a cat and it doesn't care what lowly humans think. You know, it doesn't think that that was an attempt at all. Like I said, it just was playing with its food before it just completely devours everything. That's what it's gonna say. To steal from a store. Wow, that is some serious kind of front gates. Oh, they must be locking up. Oh my goodness. Whoa, nice work. What are they gonna be, Cokes and cans? I can only imagine. Yeah, look at that. The guy just absolutely legged it out of there after this, but that lady took no prisoners. Look at that. To be honest, you probably wouldn't be able to sell that can of Coke or the box of cans of Coke anymore. So really at the same time, it's kind of going to be the same thing as if the person stole it. It's just going to be, I don't know, put down as a lost goods in that regard. But no, that is crazy. I'm kind of surprised that she didn't slam the trolley into him or something like that and just kind of whip it back around, because that would have been a whole nother way to do it, just make him trip over the trolley. But hey, what can I say? She certainly didn't need to use the trolley. The fact that they were shutting up store just worked perfectly for her, how they had the doors there already and just made it a really narrow door that he couldn't run around the other side or something like that. I mean, hey, maybe they're not shutting up at all and they just do this all the time just for this exact reason. But like I said, that is pretty incredible, just the way that she completely manhandled this guy. I mean, I don't know if I could say that it is recommended, because it could be quite a dangerous situation to put yourself in, but at the same time, his hands are full carrying the case, so you know, you can't do too much besides just whack you with the case of cans, which actually, if you look at it, he did try and whack her in the face and she copped it straight to the head. So even though she didn't come off completely unscathed in this entire interaction, she definitely came off the top dog. So all in all, even though there was a failed attempt to steal from the store, I feel as though the entire video clip is kind of balanced out, because there was an absolutely just smashed attempt to stop a guy from stealing from the store. And you know, like I said, she just took no prisoners and completed the mission. It was like a Terminator. So in saying that, I can certainly understand why the guy just completely ran away. You know, we don't ever get to see his face from this angle, because I can understand that if this woman just kind of pushed you around and you lost the case, you certainly would want to be sticking around to see what else she can do to you. So yeah, this is definitely, there was an attempt from his perspective, but if you just take it from the woman's perspective, I think she just smashed it. To cancel out sugar. Oh no, this is from these two. I did not expect this whatsoever. Wait, what? I'm just reading ahead. If you drink a Diet Coke after, it will cancel out a sugar. Like, not even grammatically correct, and not even saying it'll cancel out sugar. Wow, this is just taking a complete step up, and then there was an attempt from the last one, which I said was balanced, just to this one where they're going, if you drink a Diet Coke after, you will just completely cancel out sugar. Yeah, because that's how it works, you know, chemical bonds and all of that stuff. I can never actually remember what the name of the thing that they put in all these diet things is, but either way, it kind of is just like sweetener. And according to these two just absolute masters in their field, it must be true that just sweeteners and I don't know, diet stuff just completely cancels out sugar. I mean, it makes sense in that regard. Oh man, it is just crazy that that is even something that was ever said by the mother. Like, I don't really know know whether there was an attempt was. Is it the doctor's face at the end just going, what the hell did you just say to me? What, like, are you insane? Or is it their attempt to kind of follow through on what their mum said? Or is it what their mum said? Is it an attempt? Just really, what level or just what is it? There was an attempt to this entire video clip. I mean, the entire thing is kind of a failure, but I just don't understand whether the attempt was. But really, all jokes aside, it is just a sad reality of so many people. Like, what kind of information is that? That just doesn't even make sense. How can anyone think that that is actually a thing that you should be saying to your kids, regardless of whether you think you're, I don't know, trying to do a good thing or not? Like, surely everyone has enough brain cells to realize that that just isn't going to work. And from memory, I'm fairly sure that these two are sisters and they have all these arguments and everything the whole time. But really, I would just love to meet the mum and just see what kind of person she is. Because to some extent, for whatever reason, you've actually enabled your kids to kind of grow up in this mentality that that is going to be okay to be like that. And really, obviously, they need help in this regard and now. But just a simple sentence like that just shows the entire environment that they grew up in. So you just go, well, of course you ended up how you are. And it's just a kind of a sad reality of it all. And so, hey, overall, I don't really know where there was an attempt is. I mean, maybe I guess it was an attempt to cancel out sugar, but really, was the mum actually thinking that? Or perhaps it was actually just something more along the lines where the mother's motives were just trying to get the kids off full strength Coke and just onto Diet Coke just to be a little bit healthier or something like that. I mean, that would kind of make sense. Maybe the mother didn't actually just give the real reason. It was just that the kids were always just drinking Coke after having sugary drinks as well. And so she just went, hang on a second, you know, if you drink a Diet Coke, it'll cancel it out. And let's be honest, parents do that kind of thing all the time. You know, they just try and trick the kids into doing the little things for their own good, really. I mean, obviously, we can see the effects of excessive sugar consumption, but at the same time, you know, every parent's just trying out there. And so if that was the mother who just trying to do her best by her kids, then I can understand it. But no, it definitely wasn't there an attempt to try and do something, and it definitely didn't work out, did it? To build a nest. Oh, that is so sad. Why would anyone post this? I really am thinking that that pigeon tried its absolute hardest, or actually, maybe it's two pigeons. Yeah, they definitely look different, so this is two different images. But no, just the fact that they just kind of collected a couple of sticks and did their best. I mean, really, I don't think I've ever seen a pigeon nest. I mean, maybe that's always just because they're up in roost and kind of tucked away, but really, that is the saddest little nest. You know, whenever you think of a bird's nest, you just think of this beautiful kind of perfectly constructed round thing. And if you're dealing with some birds, maybe there'll be bits of blue, and if you're dealing with others, maybe there'll be bits of silver. But no, this thing is just so sad to see. I can't believe that anyone has even posted this. But hang on a second, I feel as though pigeons might actually be better than this in building nests, but really, they just don't need to. If they are happy with just a pile of sticks that we certainly would never associate with a nest, but if that's what they want and that's what they're happy to, just to kind of get rid of that egg, then hey, more power to them. And I don't know about you guys, but really, from the pigeon's perspective, if it thinks that it's done, then I don't know, I just don't feel as though it is truly there was an attempt, because, well, it just did what it wanted to do. It didn't fail, so there was an attempt. I mean, definitely for our perspective it is, but from its perspective, who knows? I mean, to be honest, I can only imagine that, kind of like humans, everyone would want to have a better house, a better home, a better nest if they could. But hey, if you've done your best and you're comfortable where you are, then who can judge you on the fact that you just really didn't make what everyone else expects you to? And also, on a different note, like I said, I don't feel as though I've ever seen a pigeon nest, but really, I don't feel as though I've ever seen a pigeon egg. And so is this like a chicken where it isn't actually fertilized and they have to kind of get rid of them every so often? Or is it actually a fertilized egg? Because if it isn't a fertilized egg, it would just make so much sense as to why you just would not be bothered to make a decent nest. You know, you just go, okay, that'll do, I'm just going to get this out and then go away. You know, there is absolutely no reason for me to hang around just to wait for this thing to not hatch. So yeah, it just definitely makes sense in that regard. But if it is a fertilized egg, then hey, I guess it definitely would be nicer to have a little bit of both. But then again, on the other hand, I would only imagine that it is a fertilized egg, because really, like I said, I have never really seen it, and with the amount of pigeons just kind of roaming around all over the place, I would assume that, you know, you would just see these everywhere if they actually were just unfertilized like a chicken. So look, even though it is quite a sad image to see just a random pigeon and a random egg next to a very, very random nest, at the same time, you know, we don't knock any kind of parents where they're just doing their best. And if this is the pigeon just doing its best and it's happy and comfortable how it is, then who will we to judge? Even though from our perspective it certainly doesn't look too good, really, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so if this is what the pigeon's happy with, then go for it, pigeon. To eating sunlight. You can just tell it's a puppy. I don't even know if it's trying to eat it, but it's certainly just trying to get it in some regard. Look at it. That is a great video. Oh, I love that. Just the way it's going. What the hell? It's just kind of coming and going, coming and going. I can only imagine the person is just kind of holding their hand up in front of the sunlight over and over and over again, but it just gives hours of entertainment to it. And these videos just always make me wonder what the dog or the animal, I guess in general, but in this case there's a dog, just what the hell does it think it is? You know, it's just, is it a bug? Is it some kind of insect? Is it just something bigger than that? I guess it really doesn't matter, but at the same time it is just so curious as to going, what the hell is this thing? And it just wants to go and play with it, if nothing else, it looks like. But I wonder how the owner actually figured this out in the first place. Did it actually get up and the dog saw the movement of the light and whatnot and just suddenly pounce on it? Or really, just how long did it take for it to actually notice that this was a thing that it can do? You know, the sun is pretty quick, but really, you probably would have gonna have multiple days for that happening before it even noticed it. And so it does make me wonder, is this something that the dog just does every single day when it sees the sunlight, you just get to play with it like that? Or is this person just been in the right place at the right time and just was able to capture the first day where the dog noticed this? Because like I said, it's just so curious, so it obviously just has no idea what what it is. But no, what can I say? This is definitely There Was an Attempt, because it is definitely just a failed attempt at trying to go after a little bit of prey or something. I mean, really, I can only imagine that it would be quite annoying for the dog just going, what the hell is this thing? I mean, it's alright to be curious about what it is in the first place, but just to be doing this over and over again, it would be quite annoying. Even just the fact that it shoves its nose into the couch every single time. So really, obviously, it's a little bit of a cute video. You just go, oh, look at that dog just kind of playing with the sunlight. Hopefully, you just don't do this every single day and just kind of tormented going, what the hell is this thing? I can never get it for my entire life. To find his house. Oh no, I can read this text. What the hell? Wait, hang on a second. Oh, look at that. He's going, wait, hang on a second. Oh no, and he just bolts it. Oh, the poor guy. This is kind of like the last one. I mean, it's not as repetitive and maybe not as cute, but at the same time, I just love it. Look at this. He kind of goes, oh, hi everyone. Just the way that he walked in, went, hang on a second, this smells a little bit weird, and then just turns the corner and sees the person and goes, oh my goodness, what the hell am I doing in here? Even just the fact when he first sees the person that he's so happy, he's like, oh yeah, cool, I found my family. Hang on a second, what the hell? Just, oh my goodness, I'm out of here. You really do get to see every single emotion a dog has in about 5 seconds. You know, just the fight or flight, the happiness, and just the curiosity, all in one package. I mean, I can only imagine the dog and its family would have recently moved in, because there is no way that a dog just returning home generally would ever do this. You know, it's definitely just going to know where to go to home and just use its nose if anything else. And so perhaps it actually does know exactly what it's doing, and it just kind of smelt something and wanted a little bit of food, or I don't know, maybe it just saw the open door and was a little bit curious, but then when it actually just legged it, it was actually the owner calling it or something like that. Either way, I feel as though there are multiple situations here that could occur, because even though judging off its reaction, it does kind of seem as though it just kind of wandered into the wrong house. At the same time, it just doesn't make sense as to why a dog would ever do that in the first place. Either way, exactly like the last one, it definitely makes for a cute video, and even though I hope the dog is alright, because they did have a little bit of a stumble and trip on the tiles there, it kind of just is such a human reaction. You know, if someone just kind of walks in the wrong house because they're drunk and then they realize they were in the wrong house, they really just do absolutely leg it out of there, and really this dog just did exactly the same thing. So hey, who can blame it for doing what it did? But no, it's just such a cute little dog video that definitely fits in this sub, but at the same time just makes me wonder why it even happened in the first place. I'd love to know that. Just staying aggressive. Oh, we're gonna have another dog video. This is 3 in a row. What the hell? This is crazy. I can only imagine. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is such a sad video. Just the fact that he is so pent up, and I don't even know what would happen to that dog. But really, dogs just aren't like that. Something pretty major has had to happen to them just to be like that. That is insane. But no, look at him. He's just finally coming down. Oh yeah, now I just get a nice grooming. And hey, I must commend the efforts of this groomer, because she just didn't give up. She went, okay, I know what kind of dog I'm dealing with here. I'm just going to try my best. I'm just going to slowly, you know, just move my way closer, and just eventually, hopefully, I'll get it through to it. Just give plenty of reinforcement that I'm not going to hurt, and then finally I'll be able to give it some pats, and I'll go, oh, this is actually quite nice. I'll take some more of those if I can, please. And you really can see the moment where the dog's entire demeanor just completely changes. It goes from this just absolute crocodile snap of a dog just to this, I don't know, just other little floppy thing where it just kind of sits there and just takes all the pats as it falls asleep. And honestly, we just have another one of these perfectly balanced There Was an Attempt. You know, obviously why the title, There Was an Attempt to Stay Aggressive, but then again, at the same time, if the title was something more along the lines of There Was an Attempt to Calm Down a Dog, then really you would just say that it was 100% success, you know, and just an incredible video. And so it really can be viewed from 2 perspectives, but at the same time, I just feel as though regardless of which way you kind of look at it, it's just a positive outlook on the entire thing. You know, it's not like that groomer got bitten, it's not like the dog just completely continued to freak out. No, everyone just had a nice happy ending in the end, and really that's just kind of a little bit out of the ordinary for There Was an Attempt. You know, usually we see failed attempts. I mean, obviously there was a fail to stay aggressive in that regard, so it definitely fits if you kind of title it right. But then again, I kind of feel as though that's a little bit cheating, because you could probably find a negative outlook on any one of these posts. So hey, I'm gonna let it slide just this once. You know, obviously it's a great video, and I'd love to see a dog just kind of completely change its entire demeanor. You know, like I said, obviously something happened to it for it to be like that, and then for it to just suddenly have such a massive change. It's such a great thing, but really you should kind of be titling it like that. I feel as though that's just a little bit cheating, and this definitely isn't. There was an attempt to stay aggressive, because you know, no dog wants to be aggressive, because even though in a situation like this they might not always show it, really they're just 100% made of love. So even though you just look at them like that and you just go, that is a vicious wolf, that is going to just absolutely maul me, and it probably could, at the same time there is no reason why it ever should, because they just love everyone. And so now finally, for the top of the month for There Was an Attempt, we have To Make Education Sound Bad. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how many black boxes I'm going to have to be putting over this thing. Comprehensive education just pushes you along in your skateboard, and you just say hell yeah, down into the abyss of all these other things. That is just ridiculous. Like I said, I don't even know how many of these things I'll be able to show, because well, there's a reason for that. But man, they trying to spread a positive educational message here? Because it certainly doesn't look like it, just from the fact that you're just kind of being pushed into the abyss of all these, I can only assume they're meant to be bad things. Like, I really don't get what they're getting at here. And also, where the hell is this poster being put up? Like, has it been put up in schools and things? Because surely a school isn't actually just putting all of those words all over the place. Because I feel as though you would probably have troubles with YouTube. There is no way that a school is ever going to be putting up a poster like that. And so I just would love to know where this is even being put up, because it is definitely a statement on something, and I just want to know who approves such a thing. I mean, I guess if nothing else, we can definitely say that it is 100% a failed attempt, if nothing else just by the amount of black boxes that are all over the screen, because regardless of which way it's meant to be leaning, really it does make it seem as though it's a bad thing, and I can only assume that is what it is. But if that just doesn't make sense, like, who the hell is in their right mind thinking that that is a bad thing to be advertising against? Like, you might even have your own opinions, but to have them make a poster and be putting it up and plastering up over the place, it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, wow, what can I say? This one just completely blows all the other ones out of the water. You know, we went from just cute dog videos to just suddenly having just a very, very, very random and messed up poster. And also, I've just realized that down in the bottom there, the artist has actually signed his name. So, oh my goodness, you were never going to be selling anything again, are you? Unless you're going to be selling to a very niche demographic, which is a very strange demographic. We don't like to go there, but there is definitely only one way to take this poster. They meant what they are saying here. And so, yeah, that is definitely, there was an attempt. Well, not even there was an attempt, because I guess they succeeded in terms of what they wanted to do, but it just does not make sense to me. But anyway, that is going to do it for the top of the month, and there was an attempt. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to the YouTube algorithmic things down below and let me know if you had a favorite post out of any of these. Other than that, we check out awesome posts all over Reddit, so make sure you check some of the other videos out now. Or hey, maybe you even just want to consider subscribing so you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all along, have a good one and see ya.